I get to introduce our wonderful speaker. I've been sitting in these meetings for 5 years. I did MLM marketing before that, so I've heard every motivational speaker that's out there, but there's only a few that kind of stick to the ribs. And as you've already probably experienced, Jim is definitely somebody you remember. He had very touching stories. They were funny one moment, almost make you cry the next. But he's going to make you be a little bit uncomfortable today. You may actually have to get up from your seats. So I'm going to let him do what he does best. Jim Comer, take it away. Thank you, sir.
First of all, I want to thank you for making me stretch, because I basically speak on presentation skills. And this is not presentation skills exactly. It's kind of, but I was up till midnight and back up at 5:30 this morning working on this. And I never have notes, but I wanted this to be specific for you and hopefully helpful to you. All right? Well, get this chorus just right in the front. Okay, now, what I am doing right now is among, according to the Gallup poll, the top fears of the American people. Often it comes in number one. What am I doing? Public speaking, speaking in public. Many people rate speaking in public as more frightening than death. Yeah, or maiming. And if I gave you the choice, would you like to be maimed or speak in public? And you say, oh, let me think about that for a moment. The truth is, this is scary to a lot of people, right? Maybe even some people in this room. But the truth is, what I'm doing right now is not going to get me a job or cost me a job, is it? No, it's not. And that fear that comes from public speaking, that's the F word that keeps most people frightened, isn't it? When we think about public speaking, we're afraid that we're not going to look good. We're going to make an ass of ourselves. Right? Isn't that true? We're really afraid that we're not going to look good. We'll be embarrassed. And that F word causes us to do all sorts of weird things. You've seen it. Here's somebody off stage, right? Here I am off stage. Got a smile, got body language, got vocal variety. A human being, in other words, right? And me. And now this is what happened. You know you've seen this happen to your friends. You've seen it happen to other people. The minute I go up, and now Jim Comer is going to speak to the National Association of Launchpad. 2,000 people. Jim Comer, here he comes. It's really good to be with you today. I'm so glad to be here. And I can guarantee that we're going to have a great time. Now, have you seen people go from being themselves to that blob? Have you seen people do that? People that you know that are not. You've all seen people in your life who you know to be real, likable, warm, full people, and yet when they take 5 steps, whether it's in front of their team or in front of a large group, wherever, they change. Here's what we want, both in interviews and in public speaking. Jim Comer off stage, and now Jim Comer is going to speak to the Launchpad National Convention. It is so good to be with you today. I am really happy to be here. And you know something? We, all of us, are going to have a great time. See the difference? Same person from here, same person, no change, fully me. That's what we want on stage. We also want that in an interview. We want you to be the best of who you are. Not me, not your neighbor, but the best of who you are. We want you to bring that person into the interview. And there's If you think there's fear of public speaking, I'm thinking that those of you who are looking for jobs have got even more fear because of the fact you need the job, right? You want the job. You want to move on with your career. Money is involved. I'm not, my salary for this morning, is it 4,000 or 5,000? Oh, it's zero is what it is. So there's no money involved here. But when you're looking for a job, there's money involved. Maybe a whole new career. Vacation pay. Benefits, right? So that puts pressure on you. And that F word, that fear, can inhibit you, can't it? I know you all feel it before the interview. And some of you do this thing I call plea bargaining with God. Oh, God. This is right before you go in to meet the You're off in the bathroom going, oh, God, you'll just get me through this interview. I promise. I will give up. And then you insert your favorite vice. Now, do you think God is really going to help you? God is busy in Syria. Are you kidding? No, that's not the way. You've got to help yourself. So what I'm saying is, I'm urging you not to shut down who you really are, but bring that good person, the ones that your friends and your family and your buddies like, that person, bring that person into the interview. If you do that, you are 50% there. You really are. Let's examine, and there's no one right way. Don't let anybody tell you that there's one right way either to speak or to do an interview. There is your way done right. Not one right way, your way done right. Your individuality comes out. Your authenticity comes out. What's special about you comes out. That's what we want. Let me prove that to you. I want you to name me some great people in American business right now. Let's just name them. Name some people.
Jeff Bezos.
Who?
Bezos.
Jeff Bezos, okay? Mark Zuckerberg. Come on. Warren Buffett, my favorite. I think he is the best. Okay, Warren Buffett. Who else? Mark Cuban, right.
Michael Dell.
Michael Dell, right here in town, starting the dorm room. I was going to name him. Richard Branson. So interesting. All right, who else?
Sarah Blakely.
Oh, a woman. I'm so glad you named one. Good.
Huffington.
Huffington. Yeah, Ariana Huffington, right? Who else? Condoleezza Rice. But just look at look at those names. They are totally different. They have almost nothing in common, from race to background to ethnic group. It doesn't matter. They're totally different. What they have in common is their individuality. They are not gray, dull, careful people, which is what we become when fear takes over, right? If we're this big, fear will get us to be that big. And they don't see who we really are. I want them to see who you really are in the interview. So therefore, I want you to use what I call your natural resources. I'm doing one of them right now. What am I doing? Smiling. I cannot tell you how many corporate executives I have struggled with when I coach just to get them to start with a smile. They want to get up and get right into the subject. It's good to be with you this morning, and now let's get right at it. Well, they just said, what was the first word they said?
Good.
What was it said? It was good to be with you. Well, did you believe that? No, you cannot say, it's good to be with you. Now, let's move on to it. No. If you say, it's good to be with you, really glad to be here. Now, we don't want to waste any time this morning, so we're going to get started right away. I've taken maybe 5 extra seconds, right? But I slowed down, I looked at you, and I smiled. So, right away, in a job interview, first thing, you're going to shake hands, you're going to smile. It's good to be with you. Now, if I came up, I'm an applicant. I'm so nervous. Oh! And you're a recruiter. It's really, really good to be here today. Glad to be here. How did that look? Terrified, didn't it? Terrified. We don't want terrified. So, you got to practice a nice smile. Hey, good to be with you. I'm really glad to have this opportunity to interview with you. See? I mean, let your space and your smile and your body language and your tone of voice, they've all got to be congruent. They've all got to be smiling, or we don't believe you. And if we start out from the first line not believing you, you already are in trouble. So that handshake, that genuine smile, and the tone of your voice in that first sentence is important. Okay, those are natural resources. Then there's body language. Well, because in most interviews, right, you're sitting behind a desk, aren't you? You're not standing up unless they're really mean. And so you're here. There's a table. So we don't have to worry about you doing what I worry about speakers doing, having their legs take them all over the room. No. We don't have to worry about that. What we do have to worry about is that you sit down. You don't look so eager. You're not doing this, right? And you're not doing this, right? You're neither too eager leaning over, and you're not slouching back as if, oh, well, just another interview. No, I would think, sit up in the chair like a normal human being would. Put your hands wherever you're comfortable. They could be on your legs. They could be on the table. Either one. I don't care. Where you would normally put them. And then the number one question that speakers ask me, number one, what do I do with my hands? Well, that's good. Take notes. I love that. I've never heard anybody say, I love that. No, this is a speaker up in front. Their work speakers are always worried, what do they do with their hands? And I say, let gravity take your hands where they ought to be. Because when you're not using your hands, as I do a lot, as you've noticed, but when I'm not using them, they go down to my side, because that's where gravity normally takes them. You don't see me doing this, which is a little odd looking, like I'm protecting something special, or this, like Napoleon, and you don't see me being cool. No, none of those things do I do in real life. So why would I do them in front of a group? Now, you're behind the table, so we don't have to worry about all that stuff. We just have to have you sit in a good, straight position and use your hands as you would. If you get excited, use your hands, and then let them go down, just like you would in life. Now, if you're not a person that uses your hands, well, then you don't have to use your hands much. We hope you'll make up for it in your facial expression and your vocal variety. Vocal variety. I cannot say two more important words. VV. Vocal variety. That means going up. That means going down. That means having intensity without volume or intensity with volume. It means doing what you really do in life. If I was going to ask you right now to talk about your favorite sports team, or if you had me talk about how sad I was about the Spurs, I hated the fact that they lost to the Golden State Warriors. It upset me. They were 25 points ahead in that first game. They still lost. You see what happened? I automatically went right into, I didn't plan that. If I was to have you tell me about your favorite movie of the last year, or your favorite restaurant, best book you've read, I know you'd have vocal variety. And you just naturally would, because you'd get excited about it. So you have got to be that excited about what you're doing in that room. What?
I want to go back and ask a question about the hands.
Yeah.
I had an interview one time, I used my hands a lot, and I noticed people were following my hands. Does that tell me I'm using my hands too much, or what's going on?
Well, I would have to be there to see it. I don't know. I use... Yeah, I don't know. Well, no, I'm not trying to get off. I'm saying I haven't... If you were doing something odd with your hands, that would be... What were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing? You weren't doing... Yeah, okay, good. You were just using your hands a lot. I think that's okay. That's who you really are, isn't it? People were looking at you, smell. So you noticed. This was an interview. Is that right? Wait. Well, if you're seeing them do that, then what I say is we adjust, don't we? Then you might do a little less. That's because the next thing I was going to talk about was eye contact. And one of the great things about eye contact is you can see how they're relating to you, can't you? So you saw and remembered that they were kind of following your hands. So I would suggest in that case maybe tone the hands, not stop, but tone the hands down a little bit. You can adjust in the middle of something, can't you? Of course you can. Good question. Yes? No.
I know.
Don't do this.
I know.
It's a blocking. Don't do anything like it. No. What you want is just basic, normal. You're sitting there. You're interested, and you're sitting there. You're like a normal human being. Use your hand. And after doing a lot of this, way too much. Okay. But if just doing this, I think that's okay. All right. Vocal variety. Really, really important. Because there are, especially among introverts, especially among high-tech people, there are a lot of people who just don't really get too excited about anything, or at least they don't show it. And they tend to talk pretty much like this, and they pretty much stay on that one line. You know, in the hospital, if it's one line, you're dead. Right? Well, we don't want you to be dead in this interview. We do not want you to be dead. So I want you, I'm not saying you have to be like me. I'm out there. You know, I'm a performer. But you all can get excited about things. And I would hope that when you're talking about why you want the job, your background, what you're going to do for them, the things that you can offer to them, how you can help them solve, that you'll get some excitement and have your ups and downs. Because that is going to tell them that you care. If you're just talking like this, yeah, I think I could be helpful to your team. I've been helpful to other teams in the past. I usually am helpful, and people tell me I'm helpful. I'm the interviewer. You want to keep the interviewers awake. And you've got to do that with vocal variety. Probably the single biggest problem. Now, are you seeing me make eye contact? Have you noticed I've tried to make eye contact with almost everybody in the room? And thank God, no one is on their phone at the moment. Thank you, Jesus. That means good. Now, the interviewer is not going to be on the phone. Audience members sometimes are. But you want to have eye contact so that, like you notice something from your eye contact. Plus, they want to connect with you. We connect through our eye contact and through our passion, through our energy. There's an energetic connection. Also, here's a big one that people this is almost never talked about. Pausing. I didn't lose anybody during those 4 seconds today. No, I didn't. And you won't lose them if you have the courage to pause. They ask you a question. Maybe they ask you a hard question. And you think, oh my God, I've got to answer that right away. No, you don't. You might say, wow, that's a really great question. Can I think about it for just a second? Yes, I think it's perfectly fine to pause, yes. Recover?
Yeah, sometimes my brain gets kind of in my mouth.
I'm with you.
And I get excited about something or I'm
Got it.
something.
You just acknowledge it. We're about to go to ATO. That's perfect. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a pause, thinking about what you're saying before you say it. Better to take the pause while you're continuing to hold eye contact. See, I'm holding eye contact with my friend right here. I'm taking a pause, and now I'm going to answer. I'm not going to rush into an answer before I've thought about it. Better to pause. We pause in real life, don't we? Well, an interview is real life. We can pause, and also our nervousness, that fear thing I talked about, that makes us right away want to talk faster, doesn't it? So tell yourself when you walk in, I'm going to smile, I'm going to have vocal variety, and I'm going to slow down. There is no rush. You've probably got a half an hour to an hour. No rush. Got all the time in the world. So don't. And if you do make a mistake, I've done it a lot of times in speaking. I've been going along halfway through my speech, and I realized, oh my gosh, I left something out back 15 minutes ago. And I have no problem now saying, you know something? I can't believe I forgot to tell y'all blankety blank blank. And I'll just put it right back in. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. It's all right. I'm a human being. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. You're a human being in this interview. And it's okay. You said, I said something earlier, and it really wasn't what I fully meant. Let me talk about that some more. And then go back. You might want to correct yourself. You might want to add to yourself. Whatever. That's what we do in life, isn't it? An interview is life. It's not a performance. It's life. You're connecting with this person. Or often, I'm told often now groups of people. Often you have 2 or 3 people there to interview, right? So if you've got 2 or 3 people at the interview, and there's one that's really with you, smiling, really with you, and you really want to continue having eye contact with that person, that lovely lady right there. But what do you do about it? And you're not looking at the other 2. How do they feel? Not good, left out, not good for you. If there's more than one person, you make sure that you have your eye contact equally divided among the 3 or 2 or however many they're there. You want everyone to be included. Just as in an audience, I find the face that's feeding me here. I go back, I find the face that's feeding me here. I find a face that's feeding me here. I find a face that's feeding me there. And I speak to the ones that are giving me something. Just as in an interview, you're going to pretend that all of them are feeding you, whether they're not or not. You want to really connect as best you can with each one. And you can't change their personality. You can just go to yes.
When you talk about pause,
Pause.
how often I can pause?
Well, I think you can pause when you need to. If you need to get your thoughts together, you can have 2 or 3, 4 seconds maybe, but you're not going to pause like every other line. You can pause occasionally. A normal amount, like you would in real life. In real life, you wouldn't pause between every sentence or every paragraph. You'd pause when you had a reason. Like, I'm trying to remember, who was the actress that won the Academy Award 2 years ago? I can't remember. Anybody remember? See what I'm saying? I really was pausing for a reason. Or, boy, that's a really good question you just asked. Think about that for a second. Well, I think that was 2 or 3 seconds, but it gave me a chance to at least think of what I might want to say. Okay, it's real. We're not trying to be anything other than real human beings here, right? So, pauses are so important, and especially when you're brand new, you're learning about this company, right? So, let's talk. How about telephone interviews? Many of you do telephone interviews? Oh yes, really? You're on. Come right here. He just did one the other day. Come here. What was it? What was the job? What you're interviewing for?
Job with ARM.
I don't know what ARM is.
It's a computer chip maker, or IT.
And what position?
Project manager.
Okay. I'm the interview. He's on the phone. I don't know where this person was. Where were they?
Here in Austin.
Here in Austin, but he couldn't see them. So he had no eye contact. No body language made any difference. Everything depended on 2 things: his knowledge, his pausing, and his vocal variety passion. So, okay, I've read your resume, and it's pretty impressive. But I still don't know what is it that sets you apart. What is it? Why should I hire you as opposed to someone else? You're on.
Well, I have a lot of experience doing a variety of project management activities with a lot of different companies.
Keep going.
I did it for TI and IBM and Jabil Circuits. A lot of complex projects. Where were we
No, keep going. All right, first of all, let me answer him. You were right. I did not need this jacket. I was cold when I got here, but Okay. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to ask you all, because you're much nicer than I am. How would you rate his vocal variety on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being good? Where was it? Come on. 5 is the average? 2. I'm thinking, yeah, who said 3? Who said there's 2 honest people here? It's about 3. So I want you to talk, what's your favorite sports team?
I don't know.
Okay, what do you like?
Baylor Bears.
Baylor Bears.
Okay.
Okay, they're up against UT. And I want you to have the feeling when you talk about your experience that you have in talking about the Baylor Bears. And I want you to give me a specific thing you did in your prior life and relate it to this company that you're interviewing for. Don't give me general statements or dull. I've been a project manager for many years, and I've really enjoyed it, and I've done a lot of different things. Not interesting. You've got to have something specific. Now tell me something specific you've done and do it with a lot of energy. Okay, why should I hire you?
Well, when I was at TI, I developed a emulator for a microprocessor they were developing, and it's very similar to the sort of thing you do.
How in that way? In what way is it similar?
Well, it involved the design of the microprocessor and the verification of the microprocessor.
That's much better. Now he's up to a 5. We can say a 5, maybe 6. Now I want you to go way out of your comfort zone. I want you to go to 7 or 8 on your enthusiasm level. Okay, same question. Why should I hire you? No, go ahead. You're doing good. Same thing. Just do it again. With more energy. Come on. Why?
When I was at TI, I worked on the development of a microprocessor emulator that helped them develop a first-pass chip.
Wow. Now, you see the difference? You heard it, right? Night and day from his first one, much better than his second one. I believe that he's excited about it. I believe that it meant something to him. I am buying the feeling as well as the words.
He was also smiling when he said.
And you should be.
And when you smile,
Yes.
your voice is.
So you're on the phone, see that person in your imagination, smile at them as if they were in the room. And maybe you want to stand up. I had you sitting down. Maybe you want to do the call standing up. A lot of people say that's good. Did you feel the difference that last time?
Oh, yeah.
Good. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to sit down. Oh, my God. We're just getting started.
Why
All right.
didn't we do this earlier?
That's right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thanks. That's good. Give me a hand. All right.
What's the purpose of a phone interview from a hiring manager standpoint when you're in the same town?
They want to weed you out and not waste time.
What are they weeding you out on?
They're weeding you out against the other 60 people they're talking to that they don't have to bring you in and take more time. It's not for your benefit, it's for their benefit. Okay, we got to move along. I took a lot more time on that. Okay. Good, but you got that. I thought that was great. That was such a good example. Yes.
But I think you should also behave or act as if though you think you're reaching out to that person and there are multiple people mentioning my name. Was that Mary Ann or was that Joe? Joe, please answer your question.
Oh, you mean if there's a group of people? Oh, excellent, excellent. What a good question. I was thinking of just one. If you're talking to a group of people, yeah, you definitely want to reach out by name. You want to make sure you got the names, and then you want to be able to identify them. Excellent. Yeah, really, I think that's great. So I learned a lot just then. A, forget the chair, stand up. See the people. If it's more than one, know their names and recognize them if possible. Or if you don't know, who asked that question? Ah, Mary Ann, great. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You know, okay, here we go. We're going to keep going. Okay, ATO. I made this up 25 years ago. Acknowledge the obvious. ATO. People tell me this has really helped them. Anything that happens that's unexpected, you cannot pretend it didn't happen. You must ATO. You must acknowledge the obvious. Right? You got to. Or else you look like a fool. We don't want you to look like, something unusual happens. If a dog walked in that door, somehow got in here past that guard at the front, came down, right as I'm making this big point, where would every eye in the room be? On the dog. And I have got to go over here, stop what I'm doing, no matter where I am. The moment I see the dog, I've got to ATO. Oh, how nice for you to join us. Because any dog person in here will hate me if I don't. So good to have you with us. This dog looks a little thirsty to me. We want to get you some water. Would you help me? And he's going to help me get the dog out of the room and some water. Bye. Nice to have you with us. See, even dogs want to improve their ability to get jobs. You just make it up. But the point is, the audience, what they're thinking about you when you do something like that, they're thinking, ooh, quick on his feet, real fast, witty, nice to the dog. If you're not nice to the dog, you've lost the entire audience. Okay, so in an interview, what should this be? Well, yeah, even best. I think I left mine at home. I had to borrow this from my friend over here. But we sometimes forget, don't we? We're human beings. I have to, true confession is good for the soul. 2 weeks ago, I was speaking on caregiving up in Albany, New York. In the middle of my wonderful presentation, I had somehow managed to leave my phone back off to the left, and it rang in the middle of my presentation. Never happened to me in 20 years. Couldn't believe it. Now, did I let it upset me? I just went right over, turned it off, and said, "Don't think I'll take that call," and kept going. They laughed, and nothing happened. No big deal. No big deal unless you make it a big deal. You get to control your response to whatever happens. So A, make sure it's off. But if by some horrific thing in your pocket it goes off or wherever, the first thing you do is to turn it off. And then I'd say for most people, I'd say, "Sorry about that," and then keep going. That's all you need to say, "Sorry about that." And then keep going if you're talking or listening to them. Now, if you're me, and you have a sense of humor, and if you think that the interviewer has a sense of humor, and you've already established some rapport, and only you will know this. And this is a little risky, but I would probably do. That happened to me during an interview. I turned off and said, my wife is wondering if I've got the job yet. See what I'm saying? If the guy's got a sense of humor, boy, big points. Because they think, wow, he's witty and he's fast. That's not a bad thing for them to say. And brave. But only if you have established rapport and you think this person has a sense of humor. Otherwise, sorry about that, keep going. Your choice. Not a right or wrong answer. Your answer in the moment. Okay, let's see. Knowledge the obvious. Okay, then there's this right here. Zipper? Guys, check the zipper. Check the zipper before you go in. This is long ago in New York when I was one of the several times I quit being an actor and tried to have a real job. And it's my first day. I was going in from the HR person to meet the boss. And the HR person had to tell me, "Jim, why don't you sit by? Jim, sit by." I was nervous. I'd just gone to the bathroom. I'd forgotten to zip up. She had to tell me. Well, that was a kind thing for her to do. But we'd rather not, And again, if that happens, you just simply say, "Thank you." That's all you need to say. "Thank you. Appreciate that. Kind of you." Zip up. Okay. Let's see what else. All right. Let's see. I've got another one. If they ask you, as they might, at the interview, if you'd like a cup of coffee, something to drink, the answer is no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't care how thirsty you are. No, thank you. Why am I saying that? Because it's one less thing that you can screw up. Right? Because if you're like me and you make sweeping gestures, you know what's going to happen to that water or that coffee. I've done it. I've not don't have it there. If it's not there, you cannot knock it over. You can't you can't take a sip and have some of it go on your nice white shirt. Don't just say no, thank you. That's something. Just take that away. But whatever happens in the interview that's unexpected, you've got to respond to it. Otherwise, you look foolish. ATO, acknowledge the obvious. All right, now we're going to get down to the real heart of my talk here. Second question. Yes, another question. All right, I like questions. I beg pardon? Well, you don't have. Is anybody making you have the coffee? You can. I'm not saying you can't have it. I'm just saying, given the choice, I probably wouldn't. If you're comfortable having the coffee and you're not a klutz like me who would knock it over, then you're fine to have the coffee. That's totally your choice. I'm just saying, for me, I have learned, given my nature, not a good idea. Okay, now, here we are to the most important part of the talk. And I had this happen yesterday, actually. You are not there in that interview to sell them on your wonderfulness and all of your achievements, and you're not there to talk about you and how fabulous you are. We're going to sneak that in later, but you are there primarily to talk about their company, the position that's open, and how you can help fill that need, alleviate whatever pain they've got, bring something new to them. You are there to help them. You're there to help them. And if you focus your questions, ask a lot of questions, focus on how you can help them, not on the salary, not on the vacation days, but on how you can help them. What is it about the job that needs change? Any question you need to know that you didn't get from your research. And of course, I'm assuming that you've done lots of research on this company before you got there. The industry, the competition, the company, anything you can find out about it, you should know. But there are going to be things about this job you're not going to know. This interview is a chance to ask questions about the job, right? And if you're so nervous that you're worried about what you're going to say, how can you listen? Right? It's more important to listen. Say less, listen more, so that when you do say something, it makes some sense, and it's tied into what they've just told you. In fact, you could even say it back to them. So I understand that the previous project manager was not really motivated, and the team spirit was down. So one of the things I like to do is to really spend time getting to know my team, finding their strengths, helping them any place I can on places where they might need some coaching. I pride myself on working with the team, because it's not about me. It is about the team. Because if the team's not any good, we're not there. See, I listened to them. They had told me that they had problems with the previous guy with not being a good team player. So you just said something that makes them happy. You've done something that alleviates their pain. You're solving their problem. That's your job in the interview. Find ways that you can let them know that you're going to be able to solve whatever issue they've got for that job. But let's say, for example, HR. Let's say you're going for HR director. Okay? I don't know if we've got any HR people. Any HR people in here? Oh, good. Okay. You see a thing. All it says is HR director. Now, you don't know going in, even though you've done your homework, you don't know if it's an HR director where you're replacing someone who may or may not have been good, or whether this is a smaller company that is having their very first HR director. But if you ask questions and listen, you'll find that out. Because there's two different skill sets. If you're replacing someone, you're cleaning up a mess. And you need to find out what the mess is so you can go as specific as you can possibly be. Now, if you're the first HR director, then that's a whole different thing, because you're going to be setting up systems and procedures and processes, and you're going to need to focus on that in your answer. But you will not know that unless you ask questions, heard them, and then immediately say, okay, well, I'm going to talk to that issue. So I understand this is the first time you've got an HR director. That's pretty exciting for the company. I love that because one of the things I enjoy doing most is really setting up procedures and systems that will work smoothly for everybody. And no place is that more important than HR. Did you see how I did that? And did you see my little vocal variety in there? Not crazy, just enough that I showed that I meant it. I've got to hear in your voice that you mean it. Not just the words, but the tone. Okay, so there you go. So that's one example. So you want to solve their problem. This is not the time to worry about salaries and all that. Solve their problems. The salary will be a later discussion, won't it? So solve their problem. Now, the main thing I want you to get today, this is the numero one. If you don't get anything else, this is what I want you to get. You need to do what good speakers do. When I talk to speakers, especially corporate speakers, who think they have to make 11 points with 67 bullet points on 42 slides. You've been to those? Have you been to those? Horrible! Horrible. And we don't remember anything. Because it's information dump. I want you, and this is your homework, if you haven't already done it. I want you to really look at your career and your abilities and identify the 3 most important things they should know about you and your background and your achievements, the 3 most important ways in which you can help them. What are they? You need to know those. And of course, it may vary from interview to interview, but you need to know. Some of them will stay the same. But I mean, you need to know what are your 3 greatest assets. Your superpowers. I like that. What are they? If you don't know them, and if you cannot say them clearly, succinctly, using no jargon, no corporate speak, no buzzwords, but in good English, and make it memorable, and make it specific, then you're not going to be successful. Now that's going to take some work. You may think that's easy, but it's not. I wrote 9 pages, so I could do this without looking. But I wrote 9 pages so to help me be able to get up here and not look at them. Although I may look occasionally, that's okay. But you know what I'm saying? You need to have these 3 things so clear and so well said that they are impressed. Yes? I'm going to get there. Now, once you've done that, I would write it down. Don't wing this. This is not wing time. This is not improvisation. I lost people. Oh no! No, I'm kidding. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Anyway, this is the time for you to get down, be as specific and detailed as you can. Get those down, and then look at it. Say, do I have too many words? Can I cut something? Is there a better word? Work on it, edit it, make it as good as it can be. Then try it out on people. Try it out on honest people who know you. And they'll give you feedback on, no, you need to add something. Nah, listen to that feedback. And if it's good feedback, use it. And then once you've done that, then I want you to say it. I want you to be able to say it, as we're going to do later. I want you to be able to say it to people that know you. And we want you to be able to say it in a way that doesn't sound like it's canned. I do not want this to sound like it is memorized. I want you to do it in your normal conversational tone. You know, like Churchill used to do. He would spend 12 hours writing those great speeches. And then he'd get up and he would spend a lot of time learning them. Then he'd get up in front of Parliament and have a few notes, and it would look like he was being ad-lib. He'd spent 12 hours going over them. But the illusion is that he knew he was just speaking off the cuff. And we want the illusion to be that you know your strengths so well. And you're able to state them so well, so powerfully, so memorably, without sounding canned. That's what we want. That will work. Because people, here's the part, I hate to break this to you. People don't remember much. Even people taking notes in interviews. They don't remember much. They just don't. They remember two things usually. Three is strange. Sometimes one. Sometimes none. But we want them to remember a couple of things. Three would be fabulous. They're specific and wonderful about you. But they won't do that if you don't know what they are. And if you haven't honed them and practiced them and rehearsed them. If you do that, then you've got a much better chance of succeeding. And of course, you want to tie those statements into helping them. Your strengths tied into how you're going to help them. That's the home run right there. And done in such a way that it sounds just like you're just normally talking, regular guy. Hey, let me give you mine. You know, I am a speech coach, but I'm also a speech writer. So what I bring to the table is that I help people on their content before we start coaching. And in fact, what I've learned over the last 10 years, I spend more time cleaning up terrible content and getting it specific, getting some stories in there, and making it sound real and not corporate, getting acronyms out and getting bad slides out. I spend more time on that than I do on the coaching. Because you can't have one without the other. I offer both. And I'm a speaker, so I know what it feels like to get in front of a group. So I really am a triple threat there. Right? So I've just stated, and I've done it in a way that shows them how I can help them. Because they know from what I just said that this is going to help your executives. Because they're going to not only have somebody who help them speak, but we're going to make sure that what they're saying is clear and concise and powerful and has some stories and humanity into it. See, I'm showing on both sides. In my first, I'll tell you a story. And this is, I would tell this story to a recruiter if I thought I had enough time. I was working for Avon Products in New York one time. The last time I quit being an actor. The final time. And I got my first corporate job. And when I went to the, you'll love this, I just had to tell the story. I went to the interview. Then an actor, I'd been a teacher, and then an actor for 8 years, and I'd done every kind of odd job that actors do. But never had a corporate job. My first interview, world headquarters of Avon on 5th Avenue in Central Park South. I go in wearing the only suit I own. A blue velvet Pierre Cardin number. And I thought it looked good. I was so ignorant, I didn't even know it was inappropriate. Can you believe it? Well, fortunately, it was a creative department, sales reading. So they overlooked the suit. If I'd gone for any other department, I would have been kicked out. But anyway, they overlooked the suit. I brought them a bunch of writing. By then, I'd done a lot of writing. And she said, I want to see your writing, and I'll get back to you. So I gave her everything. And 2 weeks later, she said, I like it. I want you to meet the director. I think you got the job. They were not interested in the suit. They were interested in the writing. Thank God. But now that's not true most places. In many places, 99%, that would have been a game lord for me, the blue velvet suit. And believe me, I never wore it again. So, I'm there 3 years. I write sales meetings. And I write for the 3,000 district managers who are in charge of the 500,000 Avon ladies. And they have a monthly meeting, and I wrote their scripts. And they were like my mother times 3,000. Sold me. I knew these people, I liked them, whereas most of those New Yorkers up there didn't like them. Didn't know them, didn't understand them, didn't like them. I did. So then I'm in special projects, and they asked me to write a speech to the CEO. And he's going to be talking to about 3,000 ladies by teleconference. Back then, how they call it, closed circuit, whatever it was back in the 80s. So, big deal, this speech. I'd never written a speech before. It's a big opportunity. And I wrote the warmest, friendliest, most humorous, loving, full of all sorts of praise speech, not a corporate speech. And they loved it. Everybody loved it. And then I heard the CEO, who I barely knew, I don't think he knew my name. I heard him read it to a group of people. My speech, my beautiful speech. And he was terrible! I can't tell you how bad he was! I practically cried. He was going to ruin my speech. So what I did, I can't believe I did this. It's called taking initiative. I went up to Mr. Casey. Mr. Casey, Jim, I'm so thrilled about getting to write the speech for you. And I think you could be even better if we could rehearse a few times. Would you be interested in that? Perfect. That's what he said. He said, I've never rehearsed with anybody before. And I could have told you that. But I didn't show it on my face. And he said, yes, I'd like to rehearse. So we met 3 times. And he got better. I didn't say he got great, but he got better. Enough so that all the other executives knew it, noticed it. And I suddenly was a speechwriter and a speech coach. And I've been that for the last 3 decades because of that piece of initiative and that result. Now that's a good story. And if I had time, I would tell it in an interview because not only does it tell you a lot of good things about me, like taking the initiative, like the variety of things I can do, but it also, they're going to remember that story. You know why? Because here's this little nobody speechwriter who's going up to the CEO, risking his job, and telling the CEO, you need to rehearse. But not saying it that way. You can be, how did I put it? Even better. But that is likely, they're likely to remember something like that. So if you've got a great story, and it points out some of your really strong assets, use it. Stories are more likely to be remembered than just plain facts. We are hardwired to remember stories. All right, now, you've all now made the silent vow that you're going to get those 3 assets. You're going to write them down, and I want you to try them out on people. Tape, look, right here. Tape yourself. And when you hear yourself talking, if you sound like someone scared, do it again. If you don't sound like your real self when you hear yourself play back, well, you're not there yet. You keep doing it until the words and the tone sound like you when you're talking to a friend. That's it. Yes?
I really like the
Vocal variety.
vocal variety.
That means
But what is the key, name 3 key things to practice vocal variety?
okay. What I would suggest is turn that tape recorder on and start talking to somebody you know about something you're excited about. Anything, I don't care what it is. And you will hear, when you play it back, my guess is that you'll hear some vocal variety. It could be a child. You're too young to have a grandchild. But if those that had a grandchildren would be perfect because everybody's excited about those, right? Or it could be a sports team or a movie or whatever exciting. It could be knitting. I don't care what it is. Something that you're excited about. And listen to your voice when you are engaged and excited. You'll hear yourself go up and down, and you'll pause, and you'll get quiet. And I watched. I'm showing that. I watched one of my favorite movies for about the 7th time the other night. Cider House Rules. Anybody know that movie? About 20 years old. My God, it was a great movie. Oh, it's such a good movie. I could watch that. You see what I'm doing? I could watch that movie over and over again. It touches me every time. It is so powerful. Did you see what I just did? Low, high, medium. That's how I really feel about the movie. I'm not making that up. I love that movie. You see, and I paused. I loved that movie. Just my way of doing it. You do it your way. I'm not trying to get you to sound like me. I want you to use vocal variety the way you would really use it. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to do some, how am I doing on time? Yeah, I'm fine, good. Okay. What I want to do, first of all, we're going to practice we're going to get you warmed up. So everybody just stand up and get a partner. And you're facing each other. You may have to move out here. However, I want everybody to have a single partner you're facing. Everybody And you can move out, probably easy to move out, however you want to do it. And I want everybody to be facing a partner. And to move around if you need to. Don't leave. Don't let anybody slip out. No. This is the best part. Lock the doors. Lock them, block them. Uh-oh, I think we just lost somebody there. We lost somebody out there. All right, everybody got a partner? Who doesn't have a partner? We got somebody who needs a partner right over here. Okay? Anybody? Go to one of those guys in the camera. We got somebody over there, right? Sit right here? We got somebody back there. Okay, here we go. Now, here's what we're going to do. Okay, remember I told you I wanted you to use, you've got partners now, right? Okay. I want you to use your vocal variety, your eye contact, your body language, because this time you're up so you can really use your whole body language because you're not seated. And I want you to tell your partner, each of you's got about 60 to 90 seconds, and then you'll switch. I want you to tell your partner with all the enthusiasm that you've got about the worst interview you ever had. Ready, set, go. All right, now. Wow. What I saw, well, first of all, how did it feel? How'd that feel? Feel okay? You looked like you were having a great time. I saw hands moving. I saw smiles. I saw body language. I heard vocal variety. I saw you having a good time. Felt okay, right? You were being yourself, the best of yourself. That is the person I want you to bring into the interview. Now you maybe have to be a little bit lower, but you'll have to adapt it. But that's you. Bring that person into the interview. Do not leave him or her in the hallway. That's you. Okay? It felt good. It looked good. You were real. You were human. I liked you. And you were having fun. I could see it. Now, I'm losing my voice. I don't know how. It hasn't happened in a long time. I got excited in this group. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to those 3 points. And you see how I'm repeating them? How many times have I said 3 points? About 5. Repetition is important. You also want some repetition in your interview on your major points. You want to drive them home subtly, maybe in different ways, so you really get them. Okay, the 3 points that you're going to say. We're going to do one of them today. Here's an example. If you've had a major success at a previous job that highlights one of your greatest strengths, then that might be one of your 3 points. But you have to say it in just the right way. Not a braggy way, but maybe how the team did it. How you and the team did it. How you try to find a way of doing it so it's not bragging, but it's telling about a success that you were part of. Or that maybe you got to be a leader on. But always give the credit to the team. They'll know that it was you. Don't worry about that. That's a perfect example. I don't care how much money you've made. What I care about is how much money you've made for the company. What changes you made for the company. How did you make life easier for the company? Keep your ego in check and always focus on how you help the team, the department, the company do something better. Whether it's a new process, whether it's a new platform you design, whatever it is. But it's what you did to help them. That's what they're interested in, not your ego. Okay, now we're going to have you pick. I want you right now. Can anybody bring me some water? Water would be good. Anybody bring me some water? Okay, thank you very much. Somebody's going to get that. Okay, good. I want you to pick your very favorite number 1 asset that you want to talk about. You got it in your head? You've got it, right? Okay. Now we're going to get up again. You're going to get a different partner, someone you don't know, preferably. And you're going to stand face them just like we did before. And each of you is going to, the partner is going to say, well, so why should I hire you? And you're going to tell them for 90 seconds. And then you're going to switch places and you say to them, Why should I hire you? They're going to tell you. And I want you to find a way to do this using the same person, or at least a lot of the same person, from the previous exercise. Don't lose that person. Bring some of that enthusiasm and energy and all that stuff, bring some of that to this conversation as well. So what I'm wanting, remember how I was over here nervous and I brought myself all the way here, I didn't change? I want you to not change when you do this one. Okay? This is a great practice because this is what you'll be wanting to do in interviews. You're going to want to share your assets in a way that's got some enthusiasm. I did. I felt that you didn't. How did you feel? Did you feel you carried your personality through to the second one? Did you feel pretty good about that? Did you? Yeah, because that's what I saw. I saw body language. I saw smiles. I saw connection. That's it. You want to bring the real you to the business you, so that there's not a separation. The real you, the business you, the interviewing you, the same person. And when you do that, you're much more likely to connect with that fellow human being. Because they are, despite the fact that they are interviewers, they're still human beings. When you connect on a human level, using all the resources we've talked about, the natural resources, the stories, when you connect on a human level, you're much more likely to be remembered and to be considered for the job. Well, I'm totally worn out. Y'all, I haven't lost my voice in front of a group in a long time. It's going. Okay, I was going to tell you I was going to talk about networking. She gave a great example. Shannon gave a great example of how in networking groups, if you're there to help somebody else who looks like they're miserable, the person like her is sick. The power of listening. My father told me this story when I was in junior high. He was a sales manager for Sherwin-Williams Paints, had 13 states. And one of his best customers was in a town, a medium-sized town in Alabama, about 40, 50,000. But it was a big client. And he had a new salesman under him. And I don't know what this guy had done, but he had really upset this client. The new salesman had screwed it up, and the client said, I'm not using you anymore. We're going to somebody else. Well, my father drove in with the young man all the way to this little town and said, called ahead and said, we'd like to just take you to lunch. We've had such a good relationship. I certainly don't want to end on a bad note. We'd just like to thank you for your business and take you to lunch. Well, how could the guy say no to that? He had nothing against my dad. So the three of them went to lunch. And my father had told the young man, keep your mouth shut. And here's what my father said as they sat down to lunch. He turned to his client and said, you never told me how you got started in business here. How did you ever start this store? Well, an hour and 15 minutes later, or maybe 2 hours later, after he told his entire life story, and my father had listened intently and asked good follow-up questions and said practically nothing, but gave him his full, undivided interest and attention. By the end of all that, the client said, this guy's new. I understand you're new. You screwed up, but we don't have to end this. It's okay. We'll just keep it the way it is. They had saved the client simply by listening, by letting the guy tell his story. Because we're all human beings. We've all got stories, and we all want to be listened to, don't we? And when somebody listens to us, we like it. Because here's the word I'm going to end with this sentence. Being interested is interesting. If you're interested in me, I think you are an amazingly interesting person. You are a fabulous conversationalist if you let me talk. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
Think about your own life. You people that really pay attention to you, they're valuable. They're interesting. So they're interesting. So be interested in the people that are interviewing you, and they're going to think that you're interesting.